Hi, and welcome to Muzzle First. Today I wanted to talk about magazines. So, most everyone's probably seen magazines. They look similar to this. This is a kind of a Glock style. This is Smith and Wesson magazines. Glock mags are very similar to this in design. So what I want to talk about today is basically care and maintenance for your magazines. Magazines are actually pretty tough. They're pretty durable. In normal shooting conditions, you shoot a box of 50 rounds once, twice a month, you'll probably never get these dirty enough to really worry about it, even using really corrosive ammo. But what we're going to do, we're going to take these apart, we're going to inspect them, we're going to clean it, and put them back together. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So, a couple tools that you're going to need. Well, really, actually, for this style of magazine, is really one tool that you're really going to need. I have a punch. This right here is a 3/32. I don't know if you can see that size on there or not. I don't think I can get that to come in. It's a 3/32 punch. You can also use a screwdriver, but it will slip around a little more than a punch will. Some style magazines, it helps to have a little hook that you can compress a spring with to put it back together, but we're not going to have that problem with this style of magazine. I might show you one of those mags later. Today we're going to concentrate on the style of magazine like you're going to find in your Glock. It's a typical modern magazine. So to take these apart is pretty simple. There's a button on the very bottom down here, and you can see those are stamped Smith and Wesson. There's a button on the very bottom, so you're going to grab it. You're going to grab it between your thumbs because you don't want this to fly out of control here. You don't want it to pop away from you. You're going to take your punch. You're just going to push down that button. You're going to depress it, and you're going to slide that butt plate forward. And while I'm sliding it forward, I'm grabbing the insert. I'm going to keep that spring compressed so it doesn't fly across the room on me. And that's all you really got to do. You can just pull them apart. The follower will come out for cleaning. It's best to have them apart. So these are the basic parts of the magazine. So you got the body of the magazine. Sometimes you'll see it called the tube, referred to as a tube. But this is the body of the magazine. You've got the spring. This is a special kind of spring because this magazine was made during the assault weapons ban, so they couldn't actually make a magazine for the public that held more than 10 rounds. So you can see this one is limited. You can see the mark is on the side here. It's limited at 10 rounds, and it actually has a stop in there. It won't hold more than 10. So then you have an insert. I believe those are sometimes called a lock plate. It's an insert. You got the follower. The follower's job is to hold the ammo at the right angle, in the right place, and feed it up so it can be inserted into the chamber. And you have the floor plate. And the floor plate just slides over the tube and locks in place. Alright. So for cleaning them, what we're really going to do is we're just going to make sure that everything's in order, and everything is on this one. We're going to take a look at the inside of the magazine. It's actually pretty clean on this one here. We'll take a couple of them apart and see if we can find one that's dirty here. Most of these are used magazines. Actually, it was a used gun, so I guess they're all technically used magazines. But some of these magazines I bought used because I like having more than just a couple magazines for my guns. I like having enough magazines that I can go to the range and not have to load magazines. I like to concentrate on shooting, not on loading. So you'll hear a lot of different opinions on how many magazines you should have. In my opinion, I don't go by just a number, a hard fast number like 5 or 10. I prefer to have enough magazines that I can go to the range, shoot, concentrate on shooting, and go home. Don't have to reload. I will reload if I need to, if I don't have enough magazines, but I prefer to go there and not have to reload. So let's take a look here. So we went over the basic parts of it. Cleaning them, one key element about cleaning them is you do not want to use an oil. Oil will cause these to pick up a lot more dirt and grime than they would normally. As you can see, they're actually pretty clean. The dirtiest part in this is the follower. You can see the follower's got quite a bit of dirt on there. We're going to clean that up real nice here. But that's the dirtiest part on these is the follower. And you'll see there's a fine mist of powder residue inside the magazine. the bitey. We're going to clean that out. So what I do is I just use hops. Just use hops cleaner. You do not have to use a cleaner. They will come pretty darn clean without it using anything. But the follower is the hardest part. That's why I use cleaner. I don't really like the smell of hops, but anyway, so you just little hops on your towel here. We're going to wipe the follower down. As you can see, that stuff's coming off real easy. You can see it on the towel here. It's coming off real easy. It's not baked on that hard. It's not like trying to clean the board. It's nothing quite like that. What you're seeing here is when the shell is ejected from the chamber, you get that little bit of a blowback that'll come back into the receiver, into the chamber, and a lot of that goes down into the magazine well. So, especially in the last round when there's not a shell casing blocking the opening there. So anyway, we're just going to clean these up, and we're going to make sure that they are in functional order, and then we're going to take them to the range and we're going to shoot them. But, so like I said, most of these are used magazines. A lot of people buy used magazines. A lot of people, will buy new magazines, and then when they trade their gun in, they'll sell the used ones separately. So there's usually always magazines for sale out there on the market. You can normally always find used magazines, although for some guns their magazines are kind of hard to come by. But I do prefer to buy extra magazines, even if I have to buy new ones. I like to have extra magazines for my gun. But don't shy away from used magazines. If you find a good deal on a used magazine, for example, these magazines here, you can buy these in the store. They're about 40 bucks a piece. They're Smith and Wesson. They're not Smith and Wesson magazines are usually pretty reasonable, but they are about 40 bucks a piece. I got these for 20 to 25 a piece, depending on which ones I bought at one time. And I got these off a gunbroker. So there were several people selling them, and I just bought every one of them that I could find. So, and what that allows me to do, like I said before, that allows me to load my magazines and go to the range and concentrate on shooting. I won't have to reload magazines for this gun when I'm at the range. All right, I got that pretty clean here. So I'm gonna wash out the inside of this magazine body. I really don't know if you can see that or not. There's just a powder residue. Really is all that there is in this. You just kind of see it on the inside of the walls here. I'm gonna stick this through there. And like I said, I'm not going to use any oil on this. If you put oil on these, you'll end up causing yourself more problems than what it's worth. It sounds like a good idea, and it might help a little bit with getting it to cycle, but you don't need it. You can see that's coming through there real good. You can see that's coming out real good there. Alright, there we go. And that's a lot better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. You can see it's nice shiny in there now. That come out really clean. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a clean rag and I'm just going to run it through here and dry it out a little bit, because I don't really want that cleaner left in there either. Just like I don't want any oils in here, I don't want any cleaner in here either. So, especially since these were used magazines, I'm not real sure. You never really know what they went through. Chances are pretty good. Chances are pretty good that the magazine's not going to have any problems. Very few people actually will truly shoot out the magazine. But you can have problems. You can have springs that'll break. You can have problems with your floor plates. More often than not, if you have a problem with the magazine, it's probably going to be one of the springs. Or bent lips. You'll also see these if you do some kind of firearms training. You get to drop in these a lot. You'll find that you might get a bent lip on them. But whenever you're at the range and you're having problems with feeding, with your gun's not feeding right, you probably want to take a look at your magazine. It's very possible that your magazine might have a problem, might be part of the problem. It might be the problem. because they do occasionally have problems. You can see that's gotten quite a bit of junk off of there. Getting quite a bit of dirt. And that's just dirt that falls down into the magazine well and gets picked up on all the parts. Alright, so for the insert here, we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to wipe it down. Really not a need for a whole lot of cleaner. The only part on that was really dirty that doesn't normally come clean just by wiping it is the follower. The follower, you generally got to use some kind of little cleaner on that if you want to get it really clean. You can wipe it down, you can get the majority of it off there, but it'll get a little bit of a powdery, like a carbon buildup on it, and discoloration really. Alright, so for the floor plate, the floor plate's got these notches in it. I don't know if you can show this or not. So it's got notches where it fits on the bottom of the magazine body. So it's got little notches that catch on these lips here at the bottom, these little flanges. You want to get down in those and clean it out real good. And let's see if we can get anything out of this that we can show you here. So I'm just going to push this towel down in those little grooves. There we go. You can see that? That all came out of those grooves. That was just one pass through those grooves. Just one pass. But this is down at the bottom, and this is where stuff's going to end up at when it falls through your magazine wall. It's going to end up all the way down at the bottom. And that's my goal. My goal is just to get it clean enough and inspect it. Because, like I said before, these were used. So I'm going to inspect them, and then I'm going to take them to the range, and I'm going to shoot them. Alright, so we went over the major parts of it. You know, you got the body, you got the spring, you got the insert, and you got the floor plate, and you got the follower. We're going to put this back together. There we go. Snap that right in there. Snap right in place. We're going to compress the spring. Just hold that spring down. Then you want to put the insert on it. The insert goes in with this little nub sticking up here. Alright. This little nub goes up. These happen to have a little tab at the front of the magazine that fits into the magazine body. Then we're just going to take the floor plate. We're going to hold this down with our thumb. There we go. And I'm going to slide the floor plate on. There you go. Snap right in place. You can see that nub there. And that looks good. So now I'm going to do this for the rest of them. We're just going to go through them. I'm going to wipe them down. I'm going to clean them out and make sure that they're good on the inside. And once they are, I'm going to take them to the range and shoot them. But that's the basics of how you clean them. That's how you take them apart. That's how you put them back together. And that's pretty much what you want to look for. Sometimes even when they've got problems inside, it'll still feel like it's working right. But when that spring starts compressing, it will run into problems. So if you start having problems with your magazines, take it apart, clean it. They're really not that hard to do. Well, thanks for listening. This is Muzzle First, and I'll catch you later.